Alright, welcome to a tier list for every single Pokemon starter that currently exists as of 2023. It's a little outdated, but I believe it does include every single Pokemon starter up until Scarlet and Violet, which admittedly, I have not played. Now, it does include every single Pokemon starter, but we're not going to be going through every single Pokemon starter. We're just going to be choosing like the first one. So for example, with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur, we're just going to look at Bulbasaur. We're going to look obviously at like what it evolves into, but I'm not going to be ranking like all three of these of the evolution line. It's just going to be the initial starter. Now, what we're going to do immediately is add a row below this. Okay, why? Okay, black is a little bit too black. Let's just go purple then. Not played. So I'm going to chuck all of these, the ones that I have not played. I'm going to chuck these bad boys into here because I have not played Scarlet and Violet yet. I'm not sure if I want to, but I have not played it yet, so I'm not going to actually add it to the tier list. So I'm going to look at the Pokemon in the actual games that we play them in and see how they compare in that game. Like, is it a good choice to choose? Is it a bad choice? Do I like the Pokemon? Do I not like the Pokemon? Etc. Alright, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is a fantastic choice. I really like Bulbasaur. A lot of people like Charmander over Bulbasaur or even Squirtle, but admittedly, I did choose Bulbasaur for my very first playthrough, and then I chose Squirtle, I think, for my second, because I think Charmander was just like, it's overhyped at that point. Because every single kid in the playground was like, oh, I picked Charmander. Like, just, come on, kid, come on. Pick a better starter. Bulbasaur, instant A tier. I was gonna say S, but S tier is like 10 out of 10. I don't think Bulbasaur's a 10 out of 10. Like the initial gameplay of Bulbasaur in like red and blue, like fire red, leaf green, the initial gameplay is pretty damn good. But then as you go on, it just like drops off, and you're just like, the Pokemon's there just to be there on your team. So that's why it's only A tier. Charmander, A tier as well. It does evolve into Charizard. For some reason, Charizard's been like favored by Game Freak. It's gotten an X and a Y version of a Mega Evolution, and then also a Gigantamax, which is pretty crazy. But Charmander is not as good as Bulbasaur. Look, I'm sorry to drop this bomb on you guys, but it's not as good. Okay, just because this dude has wings does not mean it's better than like a giant plant that can suck the life out of you. All right, the plants better than fire. All right. Also, I gotta show you something. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this Venusaur. Look, 6 feet. Look how tall that is. Look at this. 5'7". What does that say? 5'7"? Why on earth would you want this tiny little baby dragon? Baby dragon. Yeah, no. No. If Charizard was like 6 foot tall, if Charizard was 6 foot tall, I'd be interested. All right, but I'm not interested in anything. Look, admittedly, I think Charizard would be very cool if it was taller. Like, if it could actually ride on Charizard's back and it wasn't like a tiny little baby boy like this, then yeah, it would be up there. But no, it's as it stands, not up there. All right, Squirtle. Squirtle, I think is better than Charmander. And you're gonna hate me for this. You're gonna hate me, but Squirtle is better. I'm sorry to say. It does evolve into a turtle with cannons on either side, and I think that's very, very cool. Plus, it is a water type, and like the water types in the early games, I feel like very strong. I could be wrong, but I felt like they were very strong. Plus, it gets access to Hydro Pump, and Hydro Pump's a very cool move. Alright, Pikachu from Pokemon Yellow is going straight in D tier. It's an electric type. I get it is different from like the original three. Like the grass, the water, the fire. But it's just, it's fine. It's fine. You just get a Pikachu. I don't think it evolves at all into a Raichu. At least, like, I'm judging my knowledge off, like, Let's Go Pikachu. Let's Go Eevee is probably B to C, mainly because, like, yes, it is an Eevee. Like, it's jumping between B and C for me because Eevee can't evolve. Like, the whole point of getting an Eevee is to evolve it into, like, a cooler version of Eevee, but you just stuck with an Eevee throughout the entire game, and, like, yeah, it doesn't evolve or anything. It's fine. Don't get me wrong, it's fine. But I'm just going to put it in C. Like, that's it. That's the feeling that I get from it. It's just, it's fine. Okay, we're up to Johto now. Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Chikorita is pretty okay. It's fine. It only goes into Meganium. It's fine. It's just like a worse version of Venusaur, to be honest. So I'm just going to put it in B. Cyndaquil, I feel like, is probably B tier, because it does evolve into Typhlosion, and Typhlosion was my first Johto starter. Or I guess Cyndaquil was my first Johto starter. But I'm going to say it's B. I'm going to say it's not as good as the original three. It's not A tier, it's like B tier. It's pretty dang good. Totodile is also pretty good. I'm going to put it in B tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier, right in front of Pikachu. It does evolve into Feraligatr. Admittedly, I don't have that much experience with Feraligatr. I'm gonna say it's B tier. I don't remember any like really hard gyms that required you to have a water type in Johto, at least like for the initial like couple of gyms. So I'm gonna put it in B. I think Cyndaquil's just better. Okay, we're on Hoenn. Trico is probably one of the better starters, I think. I'm gonna put it in front or maybe behind Charmander. It does evolve into Sceptile, and I feel like Sceptile is very good. It's just like a pretty cool looking Pokemon too. That's why I'm gonna put it in A. Okay, Torchic. Torchic, I feel like it ranks pretty highly on my scale. I'm gonna say it's A because it does evolve into Blaziken, and Blaziken is a fire fighting type, which is just... I'm not gonna take in Mega Evolutions or Gigantamax Evolutions into this, like, thought process, because obviously, like, some Pokemon don't have them, and some do, so it's gonna be kind of, like, unfair. I think Torchic is very good. Whenever I play through Hoenn, like, again, for like a second or third time, I always pick Torchic. I felt like Torchic was just better than Trico, but I did enjoy Trico in my first playthrough. Mudkip, I see where people are coming from with Mudkip, I really do. But having like a water ground type is really, really good with Swampert. So I'm gonna put him pretty high. I'm gonna rate him higher than Squirtle here. Mudkip evolving into Swampert water ground is just insanely good. Having played through Hoenn with a Torchic and May uses Marshtomp with like Water Gun and Mudslap, real hard to get across. This is going up high. Okay, we're on to Sinnoh. We're on to the 4th generation. The hell are you? What's your name? Turtwig. Alright, Turtwig's fine. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Turtwig's fine. It's probably better than Pikachu here. It does evolve into a grass ground type or a grass rock. Not sure what that is. Turtwig's fine. It's not very fast, so I'm gonna put it in B. Again, these reasonings are just like all over the place. I get it. Would I take a Turtwig over a Totodile? I think I would. I think I probably would. Yeah, I'll take a Turtwig over Totodile, yeah. Charmander. Charmander is pretty high on my list. Going into like a fire fighting type, I guess that we're going to see quite a few of these, but a fire fighting type in my eyes is still pretty good. It's not as good as Blaziken in my eyes. I think like being a monkey, it's probably coming down a little bit. Fire fighting, it's actually like one of the only fire types you can get in those games. So it actually might be higher because of that. So I'm going to put it there. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. Piplup, Empoleon. Okay, Piplup was actually my choice for Sinnoh. Getting like a water and steel type with Empoleon was actually really cool. Piplup is going to be pretty highly rated. Just like itself, it's a water type, which is also really good to start off with. I get that the fire types are always better, but water types are always cool to start off with. And then evolving into like a water steel, it's cool. It's cool, man. Okay, jumping over to Unova, we've got whatever this one is. Servine? Superior? I forget what this one's called. And since I've forgotten it, it's probably not as important as the other one, so I'm going to put it down here. In fact, I'm actually going to put it in C. This one's not as good as I remember. I think I chose the fire type the first playthrough of Unova, but I believe this guy was not as good. Like, I didn't really get those feelings of like, oh man, this dude's unstoppable. So yeah, he's only going in C for me. He's not as good as what I'm remembering. Tepig. Tepig is pretty cool. He does evolve into Emboar. Again, firefighting. So I'm going to put him pretty high. Actually, I think he might be better than Charmander. Yep, I'm going to put him in high B. I think he's pretty good. I think he's very, very tanky as well, which is actually serves very well for Unova, because that game is unnecessarily hard towards the end. Yeah, so I think he's sitting at a solid B tier here. Okay, only a few to go. For Unova, we've got Oshawott. I'm going to chuck Oshawott up in B tier. I think Oshawott is cool. Samurott is just like a water type. It's fine. It doesn't do anything spectacular. It's just like, it's a starter that you can choose. You know? Like, I look at Oshawott and I go like, yeah, it's a water type. Like, you could choose it. It's, like, to be honest, not much coming... When I see this picture, not much comes out, you know? Okay, we're moving to whatever the next one was. Okay, Chespin? I'm gonna put in like a low Oh, actually, Chestnut does get, like, Spiky Shield. So I feel like he's pretty high on my list. I feel like I would still prefer to have a Torterra over a Chestnut, so I'm going to put him there. So I feel like that's a pretty good spot for him. Fennekin. Fennekin is a probably... See, they're all, like, so close together. Like, Game Freak actually knocks it out of the park with the majority of these. A lot of these, like, what you just look at and you go, alright. But then Fennekin turning into, like, a fire psychic type is actually pretty cool. So I'm going to put Fennekin there. Yeah, Fennekin's there. Fennekin's B tier. This one's Froakie, right? Yeah, it's Froakie. Froakie turning into Greninja with Protean. Absolutely insane. Froakie is going, like, all the way up top here. Again, it is just a water type. Actually, it might even go up a little bit higher. Again, Greninja is just a water type, but it does have the ability of Protean. So basically, whatever move it has, it is now a stab move, which is absolutely insane. Greninja also does get Water Shuriken as well from memory, which is pretty freaking cool. That's why it's going up in A. Okay, Froakie was actually my starter for this generation. So Rowlet. The only thing I remember about Rowlet is that really funny meme where he's like going up against, I think it's like either a horde battle or it's like a legendary Pokemon and the Rowlet's just looking at his trainer. Like, what the heck do you want me to do? When I look at this Pokemon, it's the same as looking at Oshawott. I just go, alright, I guess you're a Pokemon too. So I'm gonna chuck him down in C. Like, I'm just not interested, man. I'm just not. Litten, I feel like he's pretty cool. Currently doing a playthrough with Litten. Pokemon Sun. It's coming out soon. I just need to find where my camera is. Someone borrowed it, haven't returned it yet. Litten does turn into a Fire. Oh, actually, that's Fire Dark, isn't it? Incineroar's Fire Dark. So for that typing, it's actually going up pretty high. Fire Dark is probably a high B tier. High A tier. Yeah, let's go A tier. God, what is your name? I do not remember for the life of me. Poplio. That's it. Poplio. When I look at Poplio, I go, man, what? How did you come to be? Game Freak sat down in a room and went, yeah, this is going to be our starter. This is a Pokemon. This is just a water line. It starts off a water type, goes into a water type, goes into a water type, and then that's it. There's nothing else going on. And I don't think there's anything else going on in that head either, so C tier, low C tier. Okay, we're on the last set of Pokemon here. Grookey. Grookey does become a drummer, which I do need to just put into context here. Drumming is cool. I don't remember what this guy's name is, but Grookey does start off with sticks to become drums later on, and I feel like that's pretty cool. So I'm actually going to chuck him right in front of Pikachu here. Pikachu's only getting like an extra set of points because it's electric, and it's like it's different from everything else I'm looking at here. Ooh, second last but not least, we've got a Scorbunny? I got that right? Yeah, Scorbunny, sure. Let's go for it. Scorbunny does become a soccer player, which is pretty cool. Scorbunny, I feel like it's going to rate pretty highly, just because it's a fire type that also becomes, I think it's fighting, which I have said a lot in this tier maker, but I feel like this should be pretty high. I'm not going to say as high as Fennekin. I'm going to say B tier. I'm going to say B tier for this. And finally, Swabble. Swabble becomes a sharpshooter? Like a James Bond type thing. I look at Swabble and it's like when I'm looking at Poplio, I go, what on earth is going on in that head of yours? Because I don't think there's anything going up in that head of yours. So I'm going to put him low C. Or it's actually high C. Yeah, that's probably a good spot for him. I think we're done. I think that's it. Clip it and ship it. That is a rating of every single Pokemon starter that currently exists. Obviously, I can't rate these ones because I haven't played those games yet. By the way, if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments down below. Because I'm sure you will. And it's all good if I'm wrong. Let me have it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Where is this cash out? Headshot. Doesn't matter. Wow. I don't think